G'day guys, welcome back. There wasn't a long break at all, I wouldn't lie to you. Not on purpose at least. We've got Hydra versus Zest game number 2 about to go down, Todd. And I'm pretty excited to see what Zest got in the bag here. I've got a lot more faith in him. Even after that game number 1, which was a little bit disappointing for Zest fans, I've got a bit more faith in him. I'm pretty sure that he's going to get those necessary adjustments going down for game number 2 against Hydra.
I would see some Stargate. I mean, as predictable as it could be, it's what he's known for, and it's what he's the best at. So why not do it? At least try it in one of the games, see where it goes. I mean, we're on Deadwing too.
Yeah.
This is a game where you can go into a 2-base quickly, be pretty safe as long as you don't get cheesed, and scout enough for it, and then you go into a Stargate, you go into a 3rd base, you have a lot of scouting capability, and if you're Zest, you can deal with anything really, really well, especially Mutas. He's had some epic games against Mutas.
Yeah, we remember those, the glory days of old. And the top left here, from KT Rolster, the player in question, this is Zest. With a jawline that could cut through glass. And the bottom right here, from Root Gaming, this is Hydra. With something like 40 Hydralisks made in that last game.
That was
living up to his name.
That was very impressive, actually. Like the hold was beautiful. Just getting the right amounts, you know, of units of Hydras on time. The first Hydras that got caught, that was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been good. And with the quick scout here, I wonder if Zest is suspecting some kind of early Ling rush, or if he wants to go for maybe something like a cannon rush. Usually, with the cannon rush, you would scout after you make the forge, but since it's, I guess, a 4-players map where your opponent could be in 2 locations, then you might be really late if you don't scout your opponent first, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like Forge Fast Expand here. I mean, the pylon positioning kind of gives that away. And Zest looking for that player. He knows that he's not in the bottom left, so...
Gas being made here by Hydra.
Okay. Could be a Speedling Expand here into the 14 gas.
Yeah.
So, not generally commonly something you see pretty much since the Wings of Liberty days against those aggressive 4-gating Protoss. This is a rather uncommon opening, but as it pans out, we'll see how it turns out for Hydra here as he gets that extra Ling speed. Might be going for a flood, just trying to try and kill
a flood. Wow.
A flood of Lings. Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, well, the C players would also talk about a guy called Jerry, with the Jerry Lings, where you hide a bunch of speedlings in a naughty location and then just spring them on your opponent all of a sudden.
The Floodlings.
The Floodlings, yeah. It's pretty horrifying. Something that a lot of people had to deal with on the C server back in the day.
You don't need to tell me, I've lost thousands of games because of Floodlings. Opening gateway and not seeing it. Yeah, the thing is, scouting this is going to be very important. And guess what? Zest went for a scout this game, so he sees it early this time. I'm pretty sure he's going to want to be very careful about timing out those links. And he should be fine, as long as he does not completely mess up, as long as he stays walled off, no links should get in this time.
Yeah, and with this fast speed and the links coming out here, it's going to be a little bit tough for him to, you know, do stuff like drop pylons and cannons and that sort of thing in the natural. And he's being a little bit naughty with his probe here, just delaying that hatchery. But yeah, as we can see, he is leaving. There's not going to be any proxy cannon shenaniganry.
I mean, from there, having seen that his opponent is going to open with quick speed, which, by the way, Hydra hasn't gone for yet, which is definitely nice, you know, like, you kind of, I wouldn't say scare. Well, then I guess I will say scare, actually.
He actually cancels speed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, he knows that Zest knows about it, so that makes it so much weaker because Zest's going to be prepared. So Hydra says, I'm going to use those 100 minerals instead to start a much quicker natural and 3rd base. And I'm not going to make any more links. Just those few ones that I made in the start, I think it was 4.
Yeah.
Put some fear in your eye, and then from there, I'm going to play really greedy. And Hydra has already, you know, achieved a little something in this game. He's forced the cannon earlier than probably Zest would have liked to make it. And then from there, he's not only going to have map control, but also maybe some scouting capability later on with, you know, around the 3rd base. He's always going to be able to move those links around and see if there is a 3rd base or not. Yeah,
he's mind gaming Zest a little bit here. So the probe was in position to block as well, just with 1 cannon, which is generally enough for this many Lings, but if it was a Ling flood with the speed, that 1 probe wouldn't cut the mustard. We see that it is in fact 3 hatcheries, and Zest would be perfectly aware of that now, seeing that there's no speed still.
Zest is smart enough, you know.
Yeah.
Surely smart enough to realize.
Surely.
What's happening here. Seeing no speed, so he will know that this has been cancelled. He will know that it's possible that Hydra could have done something crazy and gone for a quick lair.
Stargate Hydra.
Very unlikely, yeah.
You wanted
back to the roots, man.
Yeah, that's it. You got to go back to your roots, man. Whatever's won you that many games, surely it can work again against Hydra. He's going to try and make it happen.
Zest's Stargates actually they have won him a lot of money. They are kind of what brought him to fame. like, and not only just like in Zerg actually, even in PvP, he was one of the first guys to mix in a lot of gas 10, gas 11, back on Polar Nights, double gas very quickly, and you know, just the very quick Stargates. He was one of the first guys to do that a lot and have quite a bit of success with it. So he's going to rely on that here one more time to try and get a win up against a Hydra, who I feel can play almost anything. Hydra can play any style, any units, and do it really well.
Yeah, he's an incredible player. Layer going down now for him. And just on the one gas as well still. Very, very, very greedy. Look how many drones he's pumping out at a time. He's, you know, getting up into the 40s. Once those 9 pump, he's going to be over 40. And yeah. Looking quite good, healthy econ-wise with those 3 hatcheries.
Starting to work on the creep spread as well is going to be very important because even though, you know, Zest is very good and doesn't cheese all that much, even though that kind of proved true in the previous game, there could be some attacks here and there coming, some pokes, you know, with if you, for example, if you're going for roaches and then you try to either go into Mutas or Swarmos directly, there is quite a few timings against Blink Stalkers or Stalkers in general, plus a lot of sentries that are very dangerous. Remember also on this map, behind, like just below that 3rd base in the minerals, you can stand there with Stalkers and be very annoying to the mining of the Zerg.
That's right, and this, that Oracle actually nearly died there. No drone kills yet. Sorry, just the 1 drone kill yet for that Oracle heading across the map. I mean, Hydra was all over this.
Yeah.
His Overlord was in position in that natural to see that Stargate. And
that was the first blood, by the way.
That was first blood.
That's the second blood. Only 2 units have died this game, man.
That's right.
And there were 2 Zerg units.
That's what we want to see, Todd. No, not really. And then we got the Twilight Council going down here for Zest for that follow-up. There's one Oracle just being high in the sky and seeing what he can get done, but it's really not much at all.
Blink and +2 going to be the choice of Zest behind this. Not going to try and take to Colossus quickly or anything like that. It's really not necessary. You can just delay that. Getting the +2 and Blink first is going to be very important. And here my question is going to be, does Zest want to go into full macro mode, or does he actually want to go for attacks, timings, or even maybe a poke, you know? An early on poke here with, you know, the amount of sentries that he has, a few Stalkers, will already force a lot of units out of his opponents. And then if he gets in trouble, he can just recall.
Absolutely. The Overseer here for Hydra, staying on the ball, continuously scouting what Zest's got been dropping here in his natural and his main. Hydra completely aware of everything that's been going on in this game so far, with a great Overlord spread and great, you know, discipline, just doing those timings.
I think we just got our answer.
Yep, okay.
That's a lot of gateways.
Big +2 Blink.
Yes.
Always been scary, and it will continue to remain to be so. 7 more gateways going down on top of, you know, the several that he's already got, which means he's going to go up to, what is that, 7 gates? 8 gates?
Yeah, he's going to go up to, yeah, 8, I think.
Oof. That's a lot. So plenty of Stalkers going to be on the map very, very shortly here with that Blink and Zest. Oh, sorry.
Actually, no, he's going up to 10 gates.
Wow.
So this is a massive all-in. He actually cut probes. He cut at 55 at first, now he made 2 more. I wonder if he's going to cut more. I think Zest might just stay on this many probes. He's on 57 against 66 drones. The thing is, Hydra didn't waste any time this game. He went very quickly to Swarmos, and he's already starting to get quite a few out. So right now he's getting roaches to make sure he has also, like, you know, some units to buffer at the front, to not let Zest get on top of his units. And Zest is only going to rely on the Oracle to detect the burrowed units and invisible ones. He has no robo, remember. Yeah, actually, if that Oracle got sniped, essentially this aggression ends. But sniping it means you need to get in range for the sentries and Stalkers, which will be also happy to destroy everything that Hydra has.
Absolutely. And a bit of an awkward spot to blink into there if you wanted to go for that blink. And it's almost going to be very, very key for Hydra here in his defense.
A big supply block, Maynard. 5 Overlords are being made right now. In Hydra, he needed to be making units at a time.
Uh-oh. So he's actually going to have enough to forces for a little while, and Zest is free to blink in here with sentries on the low ground forcing away the Lings with force fields. The Locusts are going to be shooting from afar, but there's not that many Locusts actually. They're actually getting blocked a little bit by the force fields and not getting in there for any shots. Free damage here on this hatchery.
Hydra is struggling here a little bit against the force fields of Zest. He tried to do some damage on the Mothership Core with the Spore, but not end up getting it.
Yeah, and no anti-air at all except for that Queen right now. So this Mothership Core is in a pretty safe position.
He's still getting Zerg player attacks level 1. Not sure where that is. Seems pretty ambitious. I think he might want to go into Mutas behind this.
I mean, if he's getting like +1, that's investing in Mutas. We'll surely be seeing them out shortly, but I mean,
you know how like
he doesn't have enough minerals.
Some Zergs go into a few Swarmos and then take straight to Mutas, and I mean, At this point, Hydra is on quite a few gases. Like, he's not mining from that base, but he already took the gases on his extra base. So I think he was just planning to go into Mutas, and he's already getting them. Hydra knows that he's not going to be broken by this attack, so he says, you know what? I'm going to get Mutas out, I'm going to counter-attack, and I'm going to play the Muta base trade style on this map, because you're just not breaking me back at home.
And he got the reinforcement pylon as well, so he knows that he's in a decent spot. And Zest is ready with his transition, going into the Colossus. But of course, when you're making Mutalisks, when you're making Mutalisks, this is what the Zerg player wants to see.
Yeah.
He wants to see the Colossus then go down.
The thing is, he already has +2 in Lord of Blinkstalkers, so I don't think he's in that much trouble. And I feel like Hydra, he definitely underestimated this. Oh, this is going to be spotted. Hydra, no!
Oh, actually one muted dying there to the Stalkers, and Zest would be aware that they are on the map now. Starting the Phoenix production immediately and recalling back home. Zest on the ball here.
He even had one of those Mutas reveals.
Yeah.
So he saw them almost arriving at his man. Oh my god.
Oh.
This one hurts.
They didn't die, but he lost at least one there, but that extra 3 or 4 could have gone down if it was another split second gone down. Corruption going down on the Stargate, which is a nice little move for Hydra to try and delay the Phoenix production.
Always a cute move when you see Zergs using Contaminate here and there. But in this game, I mean, being Zest here, having seen what he can do against Mutas, I would be very worried if I was Hydra here. Like, what are you going to, how do you go about playing this? He's just going to transition. He's not even going to bother going to more Mutas, and guess what? Second Stargate and Fleet Beacon is on the way now for Zest, but
that's right.
Zest has a lot of scouting capability, and since his economy was untouched the entire game, I don't think he really cares about even if he was, say, to make a few Phoenixes and the range, it's not that costly.
Absolutely, and he's not too worried about the Swarm Hosts at the moment. Well, I mean, Hydra is switching over to make more Swarm Hosts instead of Mutalisks. He's done with the Mutalisk. He's actually getting Hydralisk range as well to make Hydralisk on the ground to deal with that incredible Stalker count. Zest's Stalker count is, oh boy, 33 Stalkers with +2 and Blink. That's quite scary.
I really like that Hydra is getting a few spines behind his mirror line of his third base, but they're not going to be finished on time, I think. Zest is trying to take position here.
He attacks now. He doesn't have the high ground vision just yet. Now the hallucinated Phoenix will see, and so that these spine crawlers will actually finish now.
Colossus production has begun, and at this point, even if there was Mutas,
nice.
Still Mutas being made. All you have to do as Zest, he's maxed out on a few Colossi or a lot of Blinkstalkers, and basically just go for an attack and end it, because he's just that far ahead. That's
right, and I mean, Hydra's going to have to make do with what he's got on the ground right now. He's max supply as well. Viper's coming down, which is going to help a little bit.
Him. How do you leave this position as Hydra?
You don't.
You can't have to fight.
He has to bring everything back to help these roaches out, to make them come home alive. And I mean, the Blink Stalkers, man, they're just going to chase them down and kill them all. Oh boy, Zest is looking great in game number 2 here. We've got the Locusts of Hydra just probably even unnecessarily being force fielded back there. There's just so many Stalkers. And with these 2 Colossus, that's just salt in the wounds for Hydra. The Locust is going to be taken down even that much quicker, and I don't even think they have extended thermal lance. No, it's just about done.
Yeah, this is tough here for Hydra, who's still doing a fantastic job of staying in this game. You know, keep on maxing out. He made a few Vipers. He's going for the Desperation Great Aspire, and actually some good upducts here are going to be used.
Yeah, big upducks, so the 2 Colossus are taken out of the picture. A lot of Locusts on the ground with Enduring Locust upgrades, so they still have a bit of life here, but the force fields from Zest, almost good enough to keep them out, but they are starting to slip through a little bit.
Zest did not see that one coming. He has no Templar Archive right now and on the map. He's going to start it now.
And there's the retreat from the Stalkers there was a little bit weird. He got a lot of Stalkers in the retreat, and Zest shifting his seat a little bit there. He's looking like he's maybe made a little bit uncomfortable by Hydra's. Hydra's here.
Whoa.
Oh my god! These Swarm Hosts are in the middle of the map. The Swarm Host just picked up a Colossus in the middle of the map. It's not something you see every day.
This is just triggering a massive counter push, Maynard, and right now this is looking very scary for Zest, because not only this push is going to be very strong, but behind this, Hydra has so much gas. He's about to be on the 5th base. He's going to be able to take the gases there. He could go into Broodlords, which are unexpected. So as much as there is 2 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon, if he surprises Zest with a few Broodlords, it's going to be so tricky to actually deal well with them. I mean, this siege is insane.
Yeah, he has the Hive, so he has that possibility. The Spire is obviously already out, so we haven't seen a Grey Spire yet, but at the moment, he has to deal with this. Some pros being killed on the transfer, but the big deal is the Swarm Host with the Locusts and the Hydras. There is no Templars. There's just 2 being warped in here.
He needs some very good feedbacks and a good fight here, Zest, to be able to hold. He might need to wait for his next 2 Colossus. Making right now, but Hydra is not giving him any time.
A big Zealot Warp in here, doing some damage, but he's going to lose a Nexus back at home here during the meantime. And the Swarm Host with the Locust are zoning the Colossus and the Stalkers away from these Hydralisks, which are doing damage onto his infrastructure at home. Speaking of infrastructure damage, there is this hatchery is going to go down, but once again, Hydra is on the offensive. He's just caring about ending this game here and pressuring Zest, pushing him all the way back. Storm is only halfway being researched right now. The splash damage that he needs against those Locusts is just not there.
Man, the Zealots, those chargeless Zealots actually sniped the entire base and killed 23 drones. This was not supposed to happen. No. I don't know why Hydra didn't pull off the walkers, but much like in the previous game, he was focused on the attacks. And actually he was very good with those attacks here. Yeah,
very nice. Gets 2 Colossus, but there are still 3 more at the back. Blinding Cloud sort of zoning out the Stalkers for a little bit here. There's a little bit of a run by with the Hydras on the left, which is not generally something you say with Hydralisks.
There's still Zealots in one of the bases of Hydra here.
They're uncontested. Just now, some units being pulled back by Hydra to deal with them.
This is a slugfest, man.
Yeah, it is. Both players are beaten, bloodied, and bruised here, taking incredible damage back at home.
They're just trying to kill off each other. Like, this is like one of those fights.
Now this is terrible for Hydra. If Zest gets all these Swarm Hosts, all of a sudden the Zerg is in a terrible position. And he does. They're all gone down. They didn't get picked up and moved back. I mean, he couldn't even run because you can't run and hide from Blink Stalkers.
Well, you can try, but
you can try that.
Succeed.
Don't know about that. So both players have taken a lot of econ damage. Zest still down very heavily in supply, though.
Yeah, look at his economy.
Yeah, I mean...
They are about even in walkers, but I guess his saturation across the bases might be a little bit better. He could just retake the base that he lost. The thing is, Zest probably, like, when you hold something like this and you kill this many Swarm Hosts, you're always thinking, should I counterattack or not? He probably looked at his supply and he was like, I have only 100 supply. I don't think I can counterattack. So he only moves out with the Stalkers, and he's gonna give time for Hydra to just keep on making units, basically, because at this point, Hydra is only committing all he has to getting more Roaches, more Hydralisks, and he's gonna want to look to finish this game with these Vipers. The army supply, Maynard, 129 to 70.
Almost double, just with the reinforcement there of Zest. Tipping the scale a little bit, but it's just, I don't know if this is going to happen.
He has a few storms, but he cannot feed back plus storms. He's going to have to make a choice.
Yeah, so will be feedbacks, will be storms. Either way, it's going to be dicey here for Zest. The Blinding Cloud's going down. He does feedback there. A nice big storm there on the cluster of Hydralisks and Roaches. Is it going to be enough for Hydra here to finish this game? The Colossus of Ducks are real. They go down, and see you later, Colossus. There goes the splash damage. And it just looks like it might just be too much Zerg on the dance floor. We got the Archon being taken down as well. This Nexus is in shambles. GG! Hydra is going to be taking a 2-0 lead in this series against this KT monster that it just looks like it's just so difficult for him right now. This series is, visibly frustrating for him here.
In this game, he had a few opportunities to make something happen, to make something more happen. But I really thought he was just going to win, just max out on Stalkers, Colossus. I thought it was that simple, but I guess it wasn't, because he got across the map. Vipers were ready. Not only Vipers were ready, but Hydra at the same time was getting the Great Aspire, which, imagine, he didn't even get to use it, Maynard.
No.
Imagine he had been given the opportunity here.
Yeah,
Hydra is insane. He's playing so well.
He is indeed, and they weren't kidding when they were saying that Hydra likes Hydras. They've been on force in every single game in this series so far. Be pretty keen to see game number 3. I hope we get to go straight into it. It's going to be on Varney Research Station, which is an incredible Swarm Host map in ZvP. We saw, Rain struggle against Solkey on that map back in Taipei. Will Zest be the same? Yeah, we'll have to continue after the break. We're going to take a short break here as the players get a short spell before game number 3. And we'll see you guys shortly here for Zest and Hydra, Game 3. What's up, esports fans? Welcome back. Game of 3 between Hydra and Zest about to go underway very, very shortly. Moments indeed. And will Hydra be closing this out with a 3-0, or will Zest be knocking back a little bit with the map score? At the moment, all the momentum is really towards Hydra, but game 2 was a lot closer than game number 1.
The Protoss legends, man, they're struggling.
They are.
First Rain losing 0-3, and now Zest down 0-2 against Hydra. I mean, Hydra's playing really well, but somebody, you know, of the caliber of Zest, you can always expect great things out of him. Not so much anymore, I guess. Like, he's really, really been struggling these days. He's going to have to somehow get back in this and find a way to beat Hydra here.
Yeah, well, last time we went on a break and we were saying 2-0. What's going to happen is this is 3-0. We had Tasia in that last series take a map back. I don't know if Zest is going to be able to do this, but we'll just have to wait and see. As we mentioned, this is a rather decent Swarm host map here. That's Zest could have something up his sleeve. Let's introduce the players in the top here. From KT Rolster, this is Zest. Still so much clout. This is so much clout here for the crowd. Lots of Polish people seem to like this guy. I love him too. And at the bottom here from Root Gaming, 2 maps up. Can he take it out for the 3-0? This is Hydra. An intense look. I'm used to just seeing him smile all the time. And not today. Hydra is here for blood. He's here for money.
Hydra has done a fantastic job of staying ahead of Zest in a lot of moves, actually.
Yeah.
You know, like going for the Swarmos the way he did into Mutas. He already knew that Zest was probably going to throw down the second Stargate and the Fleet Beacon, so he said, you know what, I'm going to transition again. Every single transition he has done have been beautifully executed. There's been a few, you know, judgment mistakes here and there, you know, in realizing how strong the timing by Zest was going to be. But overall, his transition game, which is very important when you play Zerg, has been very, very strong. And on a map like this, I mean, it could come into play here. Even though, you know, as you said, he's famous from the Swarmos, Hydra has been doing a fantastic job of playing the mind games.
He has indeed. There's been quite a few mind games in this series so far. No doubt Game 3 will have a few of them as well. Hydra going for the hatch first before any gas or any pull or anything like that. Zest going gateway first before expanding. Generally this map, you know, you can go Nexus first if you want, but there's always a, you know, the ramp's very small into your main. You can, you know, hold with a few things, but...
He just lost 2 games against the Zerg, who in the second map opened with a very quick gas and wanted to go for an attack most likely. So I think he might be afraid that on this map, which was the 3rd map of Fantasy versus Rain, that there could have been a quick pull attempted here by Hydra, because this is a very common map to play greedy on, just because you have that very safe natural that you can take. So Zest says, you know what, I'm going to do it safe. I'm not going to cheese you out of the last game, possibly, you know, in the series, if he was to cheese him and succeeds. So he just goes for the gateway, scouts, and then gets the Nexus. I guess I like it because of this, how safe it is, but at the same time, he's going to put him behind where he would usually be if he had played greedy.
Yeah, and he needs every edge against a player of this caliber. Hydra's just been really impressive today. And El Capitan will be very happy if this ends up with a 3-0.
El Capitan is behind this all, man.
And he always is. The face behind the curtain.
All right, Zest, what is it going to be this time? Do you think Stargate again? I really feel like the Stargate doesn't have much to do with, you know, his last game. It's really his decisions later. Like, it's not like you open Stargate and you're like, oh, I lost because of that. Especially since he went Oracle, and he's more known about going for Phoenixes into Colossus and then Blink.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to go back to that. I mean, it's the one style that he was playing for so long and doing super well with. It's still good. Like, I've seen Protosses still use it and do very well with it.
Yeah, just a bit of an adjusted play. I mean, ZvP, the matchups have been pretty much sort of locked in at the moment in this age of Heart of the Swarm as we're gearing into Legacy of the Void sort of territory. ZvP pretty much the only matchup that's changed a little bit, and you know, you got to adjust a little bit. Maybe Zest is adjusting for things that he's seeing in the meta and he's practiced. No doubt he's practicing a whole lot, but so far, Hydra's been doing a little bit of unorthodox play, but getting the job done in the meantime with the fast Swarm host with the heavy Hydralist counts without, you know, against +2 Blink Stalkers. Oh, yeah.
He made a Stalker first, then a Sentry, so I guess no Stargates?
Guess not.
And like, it feels like he made the Stalker to try and get a snipe on that Overlord, but then he was afraid that Lynx would get in, so he shouldn't be able to get it.
Drops the Forge as well. Yeah, okay, so possibly fast attack upgrades. We'll see what his follow-up here is here. As Hydra gets his speed just about done, dropping Evo Chamber back at home as well as droning up very heavily as his 3rd hatchery goes down.
One single Evo by Hydra. I wonder if he's already thinking about missile attacks.
Possibly, yeah. Could be going for roaches quickly or for swarmers quickly. Mentioned it a couple times, but they are decent here with the two sort of narrow attack paths. It's pretty easy to sort of lock at least one of them down on this
I can
map.
totally see Zest just going to a quick third here and try to play a more standard reactionary game, you know, where you get a lot of sentries, you scout with hallucination, you see what your opponent is doing, and then you adjust. Like in the previous game, he was doing a fantastic job, you know, of harassing at first, then he recalled.
Ooh.
I really thought he was in a great position. It's really, I don't know, maybe he delayed the attack too much, maybe he kind of misread how many Swamos there was exactly. Like if he had known that there was, like 5 is almost equal to nothing, when you think about how big the difference is between 5 and 25 Swamos.
Exactly.
So he could have just been attacking with his massive army and ended it before, I think.
With the +1 attack on the way here, Todd, and 14 lings being made by Hydra, it's looking like we're starting to see the picture is starting to form here of what Hydra's got planned.
I think he's making those links thinking that Zest is either going to be aggressive or take a third base, since it's his only 2 choices. He's not going to stay and play macro on 2 bases.
No.
So he says, if you're aggressive, I'm going to crush your army and kill you right there. And if you try and take a third base, I'm going to get at least 1 cancel, possibly kill your entire army with it.
Yeah. So he's going to have a lot of upgraded lings pretty shortly, and Zest got that Twilight Council. He's getting +1, probably going to go for +2 and a few more gateways pretty shortly. We see that the Hallucinated Phoenix here does see what's up in Hydraville. That's, his ling's looking for a Nexus kill or anything like that, but Zest in position, too good for that.
You need to make more than that to be able to kill that base, because this many sentries, they take out lings very quickly, they force fields around themselves, they protect each other, like true Protosses.
The Protoss spirit strong in a sentry. +1 just about to finish with lings. There's the blink as we expected. +2 probably going to happen immediately after +1 has been, wouldn't be surprised to see some more Stalkers go down either.
Yeah, Hydra going up to 6 gases like this quick. I really wonder exactly what he has planned. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Spire here go down.
I mean,
when Lair finishes.
With the with the melee upgrades, he could be going potentially into Infestors with that much gas, getting the Carapace and also the Glial Constitution for the Roaches as well. So he's going to have a pretty strong ground force.
He's getting Carapace.
That, yeah.
Carapace and Infestation Pits.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we're going to be seeing some Infestors, man.
You think?
Maybe. He hasn't got the +1 range, so Swarmhosts aren't going to be as strong as they should be, and he's investing a lot into Zerglings. And
what's really good about the situation here for Hydra is that he made a roach run, he's getting roach speed, but he hasn't had to make any roaches yet. So if he sees Zest move out and he's worried about the size of the attacks that's going to hit him, he could actually make a lot of roaches and be safe. He actually started drop for a second, but then canceled immediately.
Yeah, okay. So he's just thinking about it.
No, a mistake, I think.
Possibly, yeah. Could be a misclick.
Hydra list then is going to start here.
Never mind. Okay, so Swarmhost will be the decision here, even though they won't be upgraded, but that's okay.
Swarmhost with melee upgrades. Is he trying to completely throw off Zest? Like Zest goes into charge lot and
yeah, maybe. All Vix around here, and the sentries just have to force field them off to stay alive, but some of the lings are still inside. They're going to get at least 1 sentry here. And up they go for the main. Getting a bit of a look. They see the Robo, and that's
boys.
Yeah.
At this point, Zest, he's preserved some of his sentries. They've got quite a bit of energy. He's going to be able to keep on scouting a lot. He's actually going into charge.
Yep.
Did he pick up on the fact
No, it looks like he saw the upgraded lings, and he thinks he thought what I thought was going to happen here with a big link flood with the Infestors, but he's actually just warping in some Zealots into the natural here of Hydra trying to get some kills. Hydra did spot it with a Noble-Lord, just reacting now though, a little bit late, albeit. And
I think Hydra might be wanting to do the same thing as he did in the previous game. He made a few Swarmhosts, 5 to be more precise, just like in the previous game, and he's getting the Spire right now, so he's getting Roaches to make sure he can defend against those Zealots here. He knows that Zest is most likely going to be going to, Colossus with double Robo, and he says, you know what, I'm just going to do the same thing, but this time better, because I haven't taken any damage from any kind of early on aggression. He's already on 8 gases, as you can see. That's a lot of gas income, actually.
Yeah, exactly. 4 hatcheries, 8 gas. Yeah, he's dwarfing Zest's income there by about 300. And
a lot of mutas that are going to come out. He's got enough gas to start 12 immediately when the Spire finishes. He's made a few Overlords in advance. He's getting even 4 more. Oh man, 12 mutas.
Against double Robo Colossus.
Yeah.
Not bad.
There is a few Stalkers. There's 10 Stalkers. There's going to be more mutas than Stalkers. How does this happen? Hydra is so good at those mind games. And the thing is, on this map, the distance from the natural to the third base is just so large. It takes forever to go from one place to the other with Blink Stalkers. So ideally, as a Zerg here, you fly the Mutas into the natural, and you attack with I guess, your main army at the third base if you can, because usually the Protoss will leave his main army there and just walk back with the Stalkers. And yeah, double target starts here.
And Zest only just now had vision there of the Mutas, so he's reacting now.
Yeah.
You know, as you said, with the double Stargates going down. Goodbye, Warp Prism. Whoa. There's
Goodbye, Mutas.
Goodbye, Mutas.
Right there. You know, actually, it's funny. Like we just casted some matches with Nighten the other day online, and he was explaining us about how if you see the Mutas when they come out, you've already lost the game. I don't think it's the case here.
I don't think so, yeah.
It definitely doesn't help. Why is Hydra paying no attention to his Swarmers?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of died for nothing. They got a little bit of hurt on, but not really much at all. The Colossus and the Zealots just cleaned it up with the... I mean, they were burrowed directly under an Observer, so it's an easy pickings there for Zest.
Few Zealots being sent to their death here.
Oh, nice blinks here from Zest, picking off a Mutalisk here and there, just doing damage while getting Phoenixes out.
So this is the same situation as in the last game. Like, from this position, Zest has defended pretty much perfectly the entire game. From now, I feel like all he has to do is max out and go for an attack. In the previous game, it proved wrong, just because he walked his Colossi into a bunch of Vipers with Abducts. And look, Hydra's doing the exact same thing.
He really wants that Warp Prism, and he needs to bring those Lings to keep the Blink Stalkers away from it. It does go down. Nice surround here, and they're on Blink cooldown as well. So the Mutalisk and the Lings are going to get quite a few Stalkers here before pulling away. If they pull back at all, yes, there they go. And the Force Fields didn't lock him down.
Zest getting a little bit overeager here with this move out. Gonna get punished for it and lose quite a few units. And behind this, with the Vipers on the way, and the fact that Zest has gone into Phoenixes,
transition
he doesn't really have the gas to get in any Templars, which he's gonna need against the Vipers. So we're in the same situation as the previous game here all of a sudden, except this game, Hydra never took damage on his gas economy the entire time, so he's gonna have a lot of gas to work with.
Yeah, if anything, he's in a better spot than the last game. These Blink Stalkers coming down and offensively blinking into Speedlings. A few of them are going to go down here as this fourth Nexus for Zest tries to get up, and he could be putting two and two together here and thinking that maybe Hydra's doing what he did in the last game.
Are you lost, Mothership Core?
Yeah, she needs to be with the army, man. She's not a harassment unit. Not at 16 minutes in the game anyway.
And with some Roddy Micro, you can see amazing things from the Mothership Core.
Well, the way this game's turning out, looks like #RoddyPicks might be something to talk about as well. And Hydra's heading through the middle here. Swarmhost, few of them still alive. Going to add a little bit of damage with the Locusts. And the Colossus really want to pick this fight. The Blink Stalker's going on top of those Hydras, and there's actually not that much Zerg units left at all.
The Vipers.
The Vipers are just coming a little bit late to the party. The Blinding Clouds are going down. There's an Abducts. A lot of Zerg units actually died before the Abducts there. So Zest just has enough Protoss to power through at the moment.
Yeah, there was no Abducts this time, like in the previous game. So all of a sudden, Hydra's mostly tier 2 army with just a few Vipers in support. He's gonna get crushed with just a few Swarmos that he had. He completely underestimated this. He didn't stay behind his target defense, which is about to finish on that base. And he's in quite a bit of trouble. He's getting a lot of roaches.
Yeah, he's just using whatever he can to make whatever he can. He knows he needs units on the ground now. There's a lot of Protoss units, and if Zest smells an opening, he's definitely going to tear it open and get himself a map here as he pushes forward with a lot of Colossus which aren't dead, only slightly damaged here. With a lot of Blink Stalkers as well, with +3 attack and +1 armor on the way. They hit pretty hard. That's a dead hatchery right there.
Hydra is going to rely entirely on the Vipers. He's going to go for a flank from behind.
Well, it's only one small-ish path of attack here.
There's only 2 Vipers.
Yeah, here they come.
I don't think he can do much.
No, it doesn't look like it. We've got the Colossus being abducted here. The Warp Prism Micro keeping that Colossus alive. GG Zest with some old-school looking Zest-looking game there. Getting himself a map. Taking it to 1-2. Looking to tie it up and win the series.
Hydra strongly underestimated this timing here by Zest.
Yeah, it all fell apart.
He basically did what he was supposed to do the previous game. Just max out, do an attack, not completely botch it up, and then win right there and then. That's what he did here. And Hydra needed to be in a much more defensive posture to even have a chance to hold this or do better.
Yeah, and he's going to be feeling a little bit better as he gets into this next game. Hydra still with a comfortable map. You know, he only has to win one more map here, so he's not in a dire situation. He looks still pretty relaxed in the booth there. Very focused. It's just completely different when you see tournament gaming Hydra versus Hydra outside of the booth. always laughing, always having a great time, and then when he's in the tournament, it's all business, baby. All business.
Yeah, I don't think there is any pro gamer, though, that's always laughing while he's playing.
Parting.
Okay, true.
He's the one that comes to mind. Life likes to crack a smirk everywhere when you're the world champ. He likes to smirk in the booth a little bit as well.
Secret Spring here going to be our fourth map, a map that can be
that was Zest's pick.
Pretty tricky here and there, so that's going to be interesting.
So what has Zest got planned here for Secret Spring here? Going to get into a break and then we'll find out. Guys, Zest versus Hydra, game number 4, not far away. We'll see you guys soon after this break. G'day guys, welcome back. Game of 4 between Zest and Hydra about to go down, and we're pretty excited. You can't tell it by our faces, but maybe by our voices. We are pretty excited here for this game as we're gearing in. Will Hydra be taking a 3-1? Will Zest take it to tie the series? Find out shortly if the players get ready.
I hope we get 5 games. And
I always want 5 games in the best of 5.
And I hope Zest plays his main go-to style with the Phoenixes into Colossus, with Blink, somewhere in there in the +2. This is a style that was used for a very long time, as the main household PvZ that you will play. And that, I guess, brought a lot of success to a lot of Protosses. But then later on, Zerg started dealing a lot better with it, but still can be pulled off. I've seen it here and there. Now it's become much more of like, a build that you throw into a best of 5 every once in a while, but that you don't do all that often.
Yeah, well, Zest will need to pull the punches here. He's got something prepared for Secret Springs. This was his pick. It's generally a map that you'd see vetoed, and it's a small, weird map that's very hard for a player to take a third base on. So, will Zest go for a proxy? Will he be going for a 4-gate? Some kind of really early aggression?
If he was to go for something special, it'd be like, a 2-base, very aggressive build, like something that he tried recently, that I talked about when he played Linok last time. Was opening with Phoenixes, going straight into War Prism with the Robo that he had made right after, and he made a lot of gateways to reinforce with Zealots and few sentries here and there to try and do some damage, but it was completely shut down. So, and he knows that Hydra saw that game, obviously. It was the last game that Zerg played in an official match against the Zerg. Like, surely he's going to be able to be aware that it could happen. Wow, the guy is very busy over there.
Look at those nerds. They all look like they're paying a lot of attention to this game. Ready for that sick analysis post-game.
Getting on Twitter
series. Yeah, absolutely. We saw that trophy on camera. That is what it's all about. The Intel Extreme Masters champion. The storylines continue here as Hydra gets ready for his match. See him on the screen there. In a very comfortable chair, I got to say. I'm sitting in one of those chairs right now. Shout out to Need for Seat. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
It's really hard to get up since it's so comfortable.
Well, if you're having a hard time getting it up, we don't really want to know about that, Todd. Let's get into the top right here. From KT Rolster, this is Zest. And in the other spawn, from Root Gaming, just one map away, is this Hydra.
Are we going to see a gold base being taken? Again, we're going to just repeat it every game until Hydra does something special. Root Cats is on Hydra's team.
It's something worth bringing up because he comes up with the crazy strats, the proxy hatcheries.
Yeah, and this is definitely a map we've seen some crazy stuff on.
Yeah. I wonder if Hydra and Cats together expected Secret Springs to be in this map pool.
Probably, because it's not one of the maps that Hydra vetoes. because there's only one veto, it's a best of 5. So
Yeah.
if he doesn't veto it, surely you should expect that he could be played in there.
Definitely.
So one thing to keep in mind, actually going to this tournament, like both of these guys, they knew for quite some time that they were going to play each other. Surely they prepared for it. I actually wonder how much Zest prepared for Zerg in general, because there is not that many Zergs in the tournament, but if he beats Hydra here, there is a chance he could play, I think it's Life next round.
Yeah.
And then he could play Solar, and then he could play Dark in the finals. He could literally play 4 Zergs in a row, and if he beats them all, he could be the champion. So, I mean, that's a lot of if and maybe, but it's definitely possible, so.
You know, I actually just realized that I've actually never seen a ZvP on this map. Never, not once. Didn't happen at Taipei, which I cast. Generally, the other tournaments are, you know, on the older map pool or on a different map pool of their own design, so we don't see Secret Springs really on anything other than, you know, local tournaments and on the Intel Extreme Masters circuit, so.
Now that you mentioned Taipei, actually, Hydra had a very tough series there up against Parting.
Yeah.
In which he was, I feel, personally, completely pushed off his game plan and how he likes to play. Like, he was forced into basically messing Roaches and Hydras because he was afraid to die to Parting stuff. And then from there, he just stayed on layer tech the entire game. Parting just kind of demolished him. So I feel like he stepped it up a lot so far since then, especially here in this series with like winning the first 2 games very convincingly. A little bit sloppy on that last game, you know, but it happens.
Well, can't always be perfect, even when you look perfect.
You're talking about Zest?
Yeah. I mean, damn, man. So, I mean,
worst
all things
comes to
considered,
worst, and Zest loses here. He's always got male modeling going for him or something.
well, In Control talked about it a little bit before. He's not too bad at it. You just got to look good without your shirt on. I think that's pretty much the skill involved in professional molding. All right, so
Still winning guys.
yeah, it's a little bit odd, but you know, considering the map, stuff's been looking really standard so far.
Why is he still mining gas with just 1 drone? And he's mining more than the 100 that he needed to start speed. And that's a bit... I guess he already has 16 on the minerals in the main, and he didn't feel like transferring that drone to the natural, because then you lose like, what, 10 minerals or something?
Something like that.
Something very high.
You go to min-max.
And again, we see a very, very quick Mothership core here by Zest. Every single time his Cybernetics core finishes, he always gets Stalker, Warp Gate, and then starts a Mothership core very quickly to have, you know, some defending capability at the same time. If he would like to, he could get across the map, get a good scout to see exactly what's happening before either reaching, you know, a hallucinated unit from a sentry or a Stargate unit.
Zerglings with the speed, about halfway done. Speed a little bit later than we expected, but that's okay. No doubt Hydra's done it all on purpose. Gets that 3rd hatchery towards the top there. I like the positioning of taking that other hatchery to the top, because I think it's like a little bit easier to defend than the other one, because the other one has kind of a couple entrances that's very far away, wide ramps as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit tough to hold that one against Protoss, and Terran as well, actually.
I really like that Hydra has a beautifully placed overload in the middle right of the map.
Yeah.
Like the one around the gold base.
Which Zest has spotted
because,
here.
yes, if you plant down a pylon here, you can warp in from up there and literally get inside the opponent's main and 3rd base very quickly. So thank you, Funka, for showing this as beautifully as you did.
That's right. Shout out to Funker as well. If anyone wasn't aware, he is our observer for the entire Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice. He does a pretty damn good job.
Yes. 3 gates. No Forge, no Robo, no Stargates. What's Zest's plan here? Does he warp in 3 sentries and then just go into a 3rd base from there? Like, not throwing down any tech with as much money as he has.
Yeah, with this few production.
Not sure what's happening.
It does seem like he wants to go for a quicker 3rd, which is really odd for Secret Springs. I gotta say, you know,
Stalkers.
Yeah, okay.
Why did he warp in Stalkers? I guess he wants to be aggressive, try to get some few units here and there, but there is a few links going across the map right now. Oh, Hydra is actually gonna set up the trap here. He wants to get the full surround. He actually doesn't have that many links.
Yeah, I don't think he can actually win this engagement.
He's getting 6 more, which would be enough, I think.
Yeah, if they come down from the top here and he gets us around, definitely. There is enough for a recall as well if things get dicey. Plenty of energy on that Mothership core. Looking for that 3rd hatchery, and it looks like, you know, I mean, he obviously hasn't scouted this one. He thinks it's here.
Yeah, wrong way. And
Sentry's back at home, going to stop the links from running by. Nice little moves here from Zest so far. I mean, apart from incorrectly identifying where the hatchery is, he's looking pretty good.
In the previous game, one thing that Hydra, I think, did... I'm even going to say it badly, and that I hated was that he got Zerg melee attacks level 1, even though he had kind of planned to go into Swarmost.
It was throwing me a little bit like it's a little bit odd to go for upgrades.
That did not make one bit of sense. But look at it in this game. He's going for missile this time, which is going to be much better if he wants to go into something like Swarmost.
Yeah, he's got the Hydra Dinner as well already, so he's gearing up for.
Oh god, those links.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Finger on the trigger for those sentries.
That's right. This little small attacking force of Zest, sort of like a harassment force more than anything, just located that creep just on the edge there. The Oracle, the hallucinator Oracle did spot it.
Dark Shrine starts as the Robo is about to finish. A Warp Prism here could be made.
Yeah.
To warp in and drop some DTs here
Certainly
and there.
Looks like it. Infestation put on the way with the +1, so it's almost once again could be on the menu here. We've got the links coming in here. Should be a recall pretty shortly. You can't engage this. There it is.
It's very hard to expect Dark Shrine here. And actually, Zest throwing down 3 more gateways? Is this going to be a blink all-in with some DTs here and there?
Quite possibly.
This is... I can't believe he will go for something like that. This is really weird. And why is he getting cannons in his middle? Like, so much stuff in this series that I can't really understand.
In the last few maps, Hydra went for those quicker sort of Mutalisk kind of,
Yeah, but one cannon like this, like...
Yeah, it's not going to stop 14 meters. But,
No, but like, it's going to do well against some of them, but you might as well get more Stalkers and get out on the map and do more damage and rely on the Photon Word charge back at home to the defense. Like, making one cannon at this timing. He didn't even see a Spire starting. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Like, really, against Terran I won't understand, because there's, the possibility of dropping Widow Mines, but right now, I kind of want to go tap on his shoulder and be like, what is this? What are these cannons? The in-control cannons don't apply to PvZ. They're only for defending against Terrans.
A couple DTs being warped in here and pulled into the Warp Prism. Now, did Hydra see that? He's actually flew past an Overlord and went whoop and changed his directory there.
Maybe he didn't want to leave any units in his base to defend or, I guess, prevent an Overseer scout. And he knows that the DTs are going to be much stronger if they go and scout it, so he made those cannons. But I mean, even then, still, that's really, really weird. And the Warp Prism, here we go.
Where he wants to go, it looks like he wants to go into the main here. Hydra's units are actually not in position at all to deal with this just now. They're on the ramp, the air they come with the Overseer.
Hydra is absolutely not ready. He doesn't have a single Overseer as well.
Yeah, he's actually pulling back.
Oh no, he
had one, but it was out of position. It's just coming now. There's no Overlord speed or anything now. Got that one DT at the third. Only 4 drone losses so far. And he's actually killing some probes back here as well. So far, Hydra's looking really good with his defense.
Yeah.
That said, though, the Warp Prism's back into the natural here at the top. Gets a Queen. Warping in a couple more as well with the Zealots.
Getting 4 drones is actually kind of nothing, if you know what I mean. It's not much compared to the damage he could have done here.
That's definitely not more than something. That hatchery's in a little bit of trouble here. The Roaches are slow, they're off creep. A lot of DPS in this army, but Zest definitely doesn't want to lose it. Whoa.
How many
Very, very, very low.
Zest is only on 7 Stalkers this time against the Mutas that are being made, but there is a lot less Mutas than there was the previous time. There is only going to be... Oh, actually, no. There's quite a few ones. There's 9 already with 4 more on the way, so...
Yep.
In this game, I feel like if Hydra plays, the run-around game very, very well, flies from one base to the other, snipe units here and there, and just, keeps on expanding, keeps Zest confined on his 3 bases, then he should be able to do much better than last time.
The one DT wanted to do a couple swaps and get that hatchery for free, but unfortunately Hydra too good for that. He was in position with that Overseer and with the Roaches as well, denying that attack there from Zest. Hydra looking really good at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
With 4 hatcheries, nice healthy worker supply as well, and a 30 supply advantage in the army as well, with a lot of it being in the air.
I think Hydra this game wants to play the Muta base trade style with like a huge commitment. Don't do it. Don't open this. There is it's a one-way ticket.
Yeah, one-way ticket to lasers.
And at this time, I like the decision of going for full Mutas. I mean, it's not like a massive advantage that that he's going for that. But what I mean is that if he does it well, he's gonna keep Zest back at home, and he's gonna be able to go up to 5 bases, and then from there, Zerg on 10 gases is super scary. The thing is, how much damage can Hydra really do with this? Like Zest, he had a few cannons ready in the middle lines from very early on. He's building up his Stalker count. He's going to Stargate now as well. And there's really no damage that has been achieved by Hydra with those Mutas that he made.
Yep, and he's on his 8 gases on 4 base here, so he's looking to transition, getting up into Hive. We're gonna be seeing some Vipers shortly. These mutas are actually just engaging these Stalkers because they do outnumber them, and the cannon is just in range here, getting a couple of mutas, but with the warp in, that is an overextension, so he pulls back. 26 Stalkers over the 18 mutas. Whoosh.
Hydra has actually only killed 14 units this game.
Oh man.
Well, that's about to change, maybe. few probes here and there. Oh, nice.
Macro. Nice little move here from Zest, actually minimizing the probe kills there.
Actually, he just killed. Okay,
One.
he killed 4.
Did he?
Yeah. He just killed. Like he's going up to 18. So I'm doing math on stream. Yes, 14 and 18. 4 difference. Trying to kill a few Stalkers here. See, this is what I'm talking about. He's gonna try to go where there is the least units to try and trade cost effectively, and at the same time, sending in some links. The Locusts are getting closer and closer.
Yeah, they
These
are.
do not overextend though, because this is like, much like in the previous game, Zest, if he maxes out on Blink Stalkers and Colossus, this time, he's just gonna crush him just like in the previous game, maybe even more so. There is still a Hive on the way though.
Looks like the
Hydra.
Cybernetics core is going to get picked up here.
Oh,
No more
that's
Stalkers
big.
for now.
No more Stalkers.
Well, I mean, there is still already a lot of Stalkers on the field.
23, 21 now. He's actually losing quite a few of them.
The mutas are doing a lot of damage here in the main, and you know, they have this blink down from the natural into the main here because that is his anti-air. The Colossus coming along for the ride as well. They don't want to be left alone against the potential Mutalist run-bys. Phoenix has now been made 2 at a time.
Hydra is about to go up to 10 gases, but I think I would have preferred him to play a pure Muta style, whereas now I feel like he might be thinking about a transition, which, I mean, could turn out being great, especially since Phoenixes are being made now. But the thing is, a Protoss on 3 bases, even though, you know, that 4th is up, he can prevent that from mining for quite some time.
Yeah.
So 6 gases to 10. If you go for Mutas against Phoenixes and then you get Corruptors, you are going to be able to do well anyway. So I wonder if Hydra made this Hive for a transition or if he made it for the +3 Zerg flare attacks. And look, Greater Spire starts and more upgrades.
And the warp in was just a little bit off as well, so a lot of Lings actually got into the base before they got correctly
The
blocked
control
up.
cannon has been ready the whole game, man.
Yeah, he was ready for this. He called it ahead of time. Zest, too good at this game, man. But I mean, with the Cybernetics core being taken out, Zest couldn't warp in any defense against those mutas, and he had to pay the price. He lost the Nexus.
Are we going to see Broodlords earlier this time?
Well, I mean, you know, the Greatest Spire halfway done. Like you said, it could be something that Zest doesn't expect. The Broodlords are quite effective, and Phoenixes aren't actually amazing at killing them. But you know, the Fleet Beacon's about to finish. Going to get the Anyang crystals.
Zest actually has a lot of minerals, by the way. Minerals and gas. Like, he could be maxed out right now and moving across the map to try and go for the kill. Instead of that, he's going to retake that 4th base, go for the Phoenix range, and just kind of chill for now, which is giving enough time for Hydra to possibly complete some Broodlords here. Look, he's getting Corruptors. The thing is, Broodlords plus Mutas is a weird unit composition, I guess, to use, you know, effectively against a good Protoss like Zest, you know, who's getting Phoenixes, Stalkers, and Colossi. Like, yeah, Mutas are just not the best at fighting with Broodlords, and the same the other way around. Depending, you know, on if Protoss gets the right unit mix, obviously.
This one DT hits and damage. Oh, there was a damaged Queen there, so she didn't have enough health to get the job done. And this one Spore Crawler is just.
That is a butcher, man.
It's detecting this DT destroy him right now. He got a lot done there. Four drones and a Queen, not too bad.
It's 25 Mutas right now to 20 Stalkers. You got 3 Colossi on the map. Probably way more Zealots than you would like to have in a Death Ball. In a Death Ball, you want to have 0 Zealots. They are pretty bad, I guess, in a Death Ball situation.
Phoenix is obviously amazing against mutas, but they did took a little bit to move there, so lost 1 or 2 Phoenixes.
+3 Zerg flyer attacks is a big deal, by the way. Protoss is only now completing +1 air weapons. And the siege is beginning. I'm sure Snoot is very proud right now. As Hydra moves into the, I guess, that one position on the map that you need to move into with the Swarmers to win the game, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. More Phoenixes going down. Hydra's actually in a really good spot here. I mean, this run by of Zealots would be quite nice for Zest. There's only 2 Spine Crawlers here. They are in a decent position. Just trying to make more. The static defense has been pounced on here by Zest. And these force fields making things very awkward for these Swarm hosts in the middle of the map. Muta's coming home to deal with the Zealots. He won't lose a hatchery.
This is actually really smart. I mentioned to you how, in a Death Ball, Zealots are bad, so he sent them around, this bought him a lot of time and did damage as well. Zest really pulling a great move here. He's going to close the door behind him. Definitely needs to start cleaning up this creep as well. But going up into a 4th base like this, he's going to be able to even start a 5th if he wants to. And I mean, if he can match the numbers of Hydras in terms of bases, he's going to do great.
So Hydra was making some brutalists there, but oddly enough, he cancelled them. Decided in the end that just having corruptors would be more helpful or more beneficial to him against these Phoenixes, which have been a little bit of a bother for him against the Mutas.
It's the right move. I think still playing, you know, in a base trade-ish style here would be better. There's not that many Phoenixes, really. Like, if he covers his Mutas with the corruptors, he's going to be able to do well with them, as long as he doesn't fight against this massive sea of Stalkers here.
Yeah, 37 Stalkers in this ball, and that's, yeesh.
Maybe it's time to get an Ultralis Cavern.
Almost. And these Phoenixes are actually chasing the corruptors and getting a couple there before they turn to fight. And with the Stalker reinforcement on the bottom, it's actually, Hydra's losing a lot here. This is not very good for Hydra at all. He's lost his corruptors. And the Phoenixes can just chase these Mutas and kill them all.
They're gonna kill more. Zest is actually so sick with Phoenixes. Remember, we talked about it. He had some great games in the past against Su, up against Mutas. Su kind of, you know, the Muta king. Those Colossi, though. Actually, the Swamos, that's a very ambitious position here. They're gonna get picked up, some of them.
Yeah, a couple of them do. That's so many Stalkers here from Zest, and this hatchery's in a lot of trouble. Hydra is in a lot of trouble. Plenty of Mutalisks, plenty of Colossus on the ground and not enough Mutalisks in the air. He's going to get a lot done on the ground here before they fall. So many Stalkers keeping them alive. The air army of Hydra is gone. It's dead. And GG, Zest has tied the series to a piece. Is this the resurgence of the Protoss King from 2014?
It could be, Maynard. It could be.
We don't want to call it too early. There's still one more map to go. It could be either player's series. Root Gaming's Hydra has a lot going for him as well. He's an incredible player. He's a great guy. Actually, just when you have a bracket this stacked and you're a fan of pretty much every single player in the bracket, it's really, when you're in round one, you're like, I don't want to see either of these players be eliminated. It's really quite horrifying. I mean, we got Innovation live later on as well, which is...
The winner of this plays against Innovation are live, so... That's their gift for winning.
That's their gift. Congratulations, here is Innovation and All Life. Wow. Okay, well... Before we go into our final game in this best of 5, looks like the players are going to have a bit of a break here. So will take a break as well. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in so far. The game number 5, the deciding map between Zest and Hydra, coming up very shortly. We'll see you soon. It is time. The deciding map between Hydra and Zest about to go down here on stage in Katowice. Oh, who is going to go on to the next round and face the winner of Innovation or Life?
You know, in the first two games, I mentioned how beautiful those transitions from Hydras were, but in the last two, not so beautiful. He struggled a lot. Now, though, it's going to be Catalina. Might not have to transition at all on this map to win. There is a little bit of Protoss bias in these comments.
Just a little bit. And it does seem like Zest is adjusting to Hydra's game plan here as each map, it looks like Hydra kind of has that plan with a sort of unit tech shift and then trying to pull a fast one on his opponent.
You just realized he wasn't wearing the noise cancelling.
Well, better late than never. In the bottom right of Catalina here from KT Ro16. He's won the last two maps. Can he win the last one? This is Zest. Oh, those killer eyes. Once again, don't look too hard, ladies. You will become pregnant. In the left here from Root Gaming, this is Hydra. Another handsome guy, I have to be fair. Very sharp looking today.
Interesting positions here. I feel like for Zest, to try and decide which third he was to take, he would have to think very carefully, because if he takes, the left-hand side one, and Hydra goes into something like Swarmos, it's going to be much more difficult to defend. At the same time, Hydra apparently, he really seems to want to try to win with Mutas, but he hasn't done that well with them just yet. He struggled a lot. There was a few points in the games where I thought he was doing really well. But overall, once he reached, this max out situation, and every time Zest's defense was good enough for him to, get very close to maxing out, Hydra kind of fell apart from there in the last two games and then ended up losing. So honestly, there are so many ways that you can play with the Muta style compared to what he did. For example, in last game, he had a lot of Mutas. He had forced 37 Stalkers. One of the things that you can do is go into a Baneling nest and get a lot of Banelings on the ground. But the thing is, there is still a few Colossi out on the map from the Protoss, and most of all, sentries. But if you can trade some Mutas to kill the sentries and then remax out, then you're in a great position. It still is very tricky.
So a little bit different here from Hydra. He has gone pull first here before expanding. No gas or anything like that, but going pull first does mean that he wants to get some super, super early defense. So maybe he was expecting a proxy or something from Zest here on this map.
Yeah, there are a few possibilities for cannon rushes, and at the same time, pull first is still very, very good. You can get your queen out faster. Zergs like Snoot, they are very big fans of going for a pull first, so that they can start using their injects very, very quickly into the game. And I don't think it matters too much. I wouldn't read too much into it.
Yeah, it's not a huge econ hit, but it's definitely an econ hit. It's at least one.
Zest, on the other hand, do we see a Stargate again? Went for the Gateway Nexus, double gas. I wonder, on this map, if he was to go for a Stargate, because there is even some of the builds that Hydra did that felt like he was kind of trying to counter Stargate play out of Zest, whereas Zest, he's been mixing it up here and there. And even though, in one of the games, for example, he played Stargate was for an Oracle, whereas from him you would expect more Phoenixes. Hasn't done in a single time yet. The good old Phoenix into Colossus.
Good old. Very popular in the Chinese Protoss scene. It's very made popular by Zest as well, using it to a great degree of success back in the day. And once again, trying to get some success with that unit composition. You can see his mastery within it.
Stalker Warpgate again. Let's see if this time he gets the Mothership Core quickly. I wouldn't be surprised. So far, yeah, here we go. Mothership Core is going to start.
Yeah, so you put on a little bit of light pressure with a couple Stalkers and the Mothership Core. I mean, it can be done. The third is a little bit tough for the Zergs to defend here on Catalina.
Very good point. Zest actually scouted that there is no gas this game, so you could even go for the Roddy build. Throw down 3 more gates and be very aggressive, with a lot of Stalkers out on the map, because there is no speed on the way. There's not going to be speed anytime soon this game. There is no gas taken by Hydra just yet. Actually, no, he just started mining on it.
I thought you were talking about Proxy Tempest, mate, and I'm like, if that was
No, that's against Terran.
Terran only, fair enough.
Against Zerg, it's all about that 4-gate pressure with Stalkers against speedless Lings, if you can scout it.
Extra couple gateways going down. Warp gate being chrono boosted as well.
Only 2 extra ones, so...
Yeah, not as...
Oh, no, here. Okay, no, that's the Stargate. So he goes for the Stargate behind this. Still, this could be very dangerous. This could force out a lot of slow links instead of drones, in which case, as a Zerg, you're pretty broke because you've had to make a lot of links early on when you wanted to be making drones. And then behind this, Oracle flies in, kills basically the few drones that you have. So it's a disaster of a situation. So right now, I really like the situation for Zest. I feel like Hydra is going to have to react perfectly to the aggression, defend it, and then maybe see the Stargate so that he can get spores on time. Because if he does not get spores on time and lose like 8 drones to the first Oracle, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be an Oracle, he's going to be in trouble.
Absolutely. Gateway, the Stargate finishes. More Stalkers being warped in here from the several gateways of Zest with that proxy pylon. And then, there's that Oracle.
Oh boy.
And meanwhile, he has this Stalker pressure with the Mothership Core as well. He can easily recall and take no damage in his attacking force. Meanwhile, doing damage to Hydra.
Yeah, speed is, I guess, around 30 seconds from finishing here. So that's going to be a very long few seconds for Hydra, who's trying to do his best to defend against those Stalkers. But Zest's micro is just too good right now. Same Oracle count. This is a disaster here for Hydra, who's still getting, I guess, squeezing out a few drones at the time up against the... Well, I guess he's getting links also.
Yeah. Might be recall time here.
Yeah.
So many links. Speed is about to finish as well, so he can kite until speed finishes. The Oracle coming back. Oh, the Oracle coming up to do some damage
and
now.
There's 3 spores.
Yep, they got done in time.
Hydra spotted the Stargate on time to get those spores, and he shouldn't lose too much.
Oh, Zest! Playing with fire there. 1 hit point left on that Oracle. Oh. 2 drone kills as a result from that Oracle. It nearly gave its all. Some Lings going here for a bit of a run by to see if they can find a hole, but Zest's usually pretty good. He has those sentries in position always.
I was very worried for Hydra. I thought he might take a lot more damage than he did, but all of a sudden, he finds himself with a spore on every base, so very safe. 64 drones to 51 probes.
Oh my god, so much economy here for the 9-minute mark. And considering that he went pull first as well, it's like pretty amazing.
Actually, because Zest went for this build, he's only starting his +1 now. Yeah. This is so late. Hydra, his lair just finished. He starts a Hydra is then, of course. He has the Ro16 on the way, he has the +1 missile attacks on the way as well. He can decide whatever he wants to go into from there. He could throw down a Spire and Infestation Pit, literally, and maybe even all of them, and then pick later on.
Yeah. It's always nice to have every tech option open to you with both players being able to switch relatively quickly.
Ooh, Hydra forgot to saturate the gas on his natural. Okay, he just fixed it, finally.
Okay.
That's most worrying, man. I've seen games where some players forget to saturate those for a very long time, and it's never a good thing.
Unfortunately, I always notice when it's too little too late. It's like, oh, I just don't have enough gas here. Why haven't I got enough gas? And you check your replay and like, oh, god damn it.
The Blink is on the way now for Zest, who's going to choose, the standard route that you want to go into. Nice wall at that third base with a lot of gateways.
Nice positioning here. I mean, it's going to become a bit awkward if he's stuck at the Nexus trying to defend, but as it stands, very, very good against Ling run buys.
Hydra, though, like he's getting Roach and Hydras. Does he want to go for an only? Like he has a lot of money saved. Look at how much supply free he has. 12 Hydralisks are going to start. He waited such a long time. 15 Hydralisks at a time, plus more Overlord. So I think it's going to be 15 Hydralisks into a lot of Roaches. I was going to say, where is this tech? Like you don't go into Roach Hydra like this and hope to make it to the late game. This is an all-in here.
And the Oracle is actually looking for that tech as well, and he's not getting deep enough to be able to see because it's just so damaged.
It's so smart. It's so smart to wait for as long as he did and then get all the units at once. If he had made a few by few, there is a very good chance he would have been able to be spotted. And now he snipes the Oracle. The Robo base starts now when 15 Hydras are already out. Like this timing is gonna hit, and it's gonna hit hard, Maynard.
It is, and he's gonna have Blink, but against Hydralisk with a whole bunch of Speedlings, that doesn't actually matter that much. 10 Roaches on the way as well, and he can only warp in Stalkers at this point.
It's so tricky to defend on this map too. Like where do you go? Do you stay between your two bases like this? But then you're exposed to a very big concave set up by the Zerg, so... Hydra, though, needs to be careful not to get force-fielded like in the first game earlier.
Yeah, there's a time warp available for Zest. If he can get in range of the Nexus, he has overcharge capabilities as well.
Zest knows what's up. He's starting cannons. Right now he realized he's about to be attacked by a lot of units. He's going to double force-field the ramp.
Yeah, just starting Immortals now. He's getting more, well, I mean, the Roaches are obviously on the field, plenty of Hydralisk here, and he's making Immortals to try and deal with the Roaches, but there's a run by here. We've got a lot of Roaches and some Lings on the top. Is there enough from Hydra to get the job done? The force fields actually haven't locked him away completely, so he's going to start wailing on these gateways here.
So many sentries died, and even though Photon Recharge has been used here, Hydra has traded just Roaches and Hydras for sentries. It's gonna go up that ramp, and actually this is very well defended here with a few cannons, the photon overcharge as well, and the sentries. But I guess if he just waits, maxes out, waits until the photon overcharge expire, and then just hit that third base and hit it hard, he might be able to break it. But he's
Actually might lose the Immortal here to these Hydras that have been force fielded into his face. Just micro that Immortal does live. He's locked down these ramps for now. Hydra doesn't have that high ground, but now he does. He's up there and he can get into these gateways and keep tapping, and Zest is forced to pull back from the third and really mop up this force from Hydra, because otherwise he's going to start losing really crucial buildings and the infrastructure.
There is no pulling back here for Hydra. He has to stay and trade as well as he can. The poor Immortal came out.
It's actually a Hydra's reinforcement from the back, and it's only a small force, but it's enough to force Zest to have to blink in on top of this army of Hydra. And with a Zealot warp in, it looks like it's starting to be enough, but Hydra has... he's taken a very healthy lead here. He's 50 supply up on Zest and looking very large and in charge. 88 army supply to 40.
Even though it might be very tempting to say it was a very nice hold by Zest, and it was, Hydra traded well enough that with the reinforcements, he's going to keep on basically just get in there.
Yeah, he just has so much more army supply, and a lot of it's still on the way though, but that means that this small cluster here will be easy pickings for Zest.
Yeah.
And he keeps shaving off units like that, and he can start to look better as the game goes on, but as it stands, Hydra still with a very, very scary force here.
Hydra could actually transition. The thing is, he's invested a lot into this. He's only on 69 drones against 62. He made the infestation pit, but hasn't used it. So he's probably still thinking about it. I guess since he went home, right now he's thinking, do I make more units or do I take? Do I go for a Hive? Do I go for Swarmhost?
He has a fourth hatchery that's not saturated at all. So, I mean, he can switch back now. Looks like the drones are on the way now.
You know what the easy route will be here. Start a few Swarmhost and get some drones as well and saturate the base and lay back in your chair.
Watch the esports dollars roll in. And we got those Lings, the run by deflected very nicely here by Zest. One does get through, but all he's getting is scouting. There's no damage done by him. This is a damage dealing force though. And it's heading towards that third. Yeah, the sentries are...
I mean, he warps them in now, but few force fields. Well, I was going to say how much can they do, then I realized they're about to actually maybe section a lot of those units, but no, Hydra getting in there.
Yeah,
up close to that Nexus.
Yeah, the Photon Overcharge doing a little bit of help here for Zest. He has still a lot of Stalkers on the ground, the Immortals, and that's when the Hydras start to, and the Roaches start to reign supreme. We got one Immortal coming back from the natural. Hydra not overextending too much, but he has a lot of hurt units here.
Zest is holding well enough with the blink back that I think he's going to be in a good position here momentarily. Hydra has committed everything he had to this. It doesn't really make sense, to be honest. Hydra started double extractor on his fourth base, but didn't even make drones to saturate the minerals, and right now he's just going to lose this game, I feel. If he just stays and keeps on fighting and throws
that
units...
was a terrible trade, unfortunately, for Hydra. And
he's just throwing units into the mid-grinder that is Zest.
Yeah, but I mean, he may as well have stood and fight because he can't run from these Stalkers anyway. They have Blink, they have the upgrade, they can just chase him down if he wanted to try and go home with that small force that he had.
+3 is going to finish here for Zest in a second against a Zerg who's only on 1-0 upgrades.
Yeah.
Zest feels that confident that he moves across the map right now.
And he should be feeling pretty confident. He's in a great spot. Oh, the warp in back at home. So sick for Zest. The Lings are going to get nothing done here. They have to be deflected. And the natural, it does have an opening, but Zest plugs it just then with the Stalker, as I mentioned.
Nothing's the word, Maynard.
Nothing is the word.
And he actually starts the fourth base. I don't think Zest realized quite how far ahead he is. Up against the Zerg, who's only on 1-0 upgrades, who's...
It really does look like he can just go for the kill here. I mean,
yeah, it's an about worker count, like it's about the same. He could just go for a pylon, mass stalkers, go for the all-in and finish it.
Yeah, well, I mean, these upgrades are really very much in charge here. He's large and in charge. And he's down in army supply, but only by a little bit. And that's when the upgrades, when you're a Protoss, your units are generally quite good. And, they cost more, they take more supply, but they are very heavy hitting. Got the Roaches and the Hydras here. Hydra trying to come into a really terrible engagement. I mean, there's a lot of Immortals here. And they have +3, and they're shredding these Roaches to pieces. There's probably enough Blink Stalkers to kill the Hydralists as well.
Yeah, 4 Immortals, risk +3, ready to mingle with the Roaches, man. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
That's it. And he's offensively blinking on the Hydralists as well. Zest in an amazing position here as he takes the series, winning 3 maps in a row. What a great recovery from this KT Protoss. And he's looking to reverse that slump, and he's already looking good at the beginning of this tournament. Taking out Hydra, who looked incredibly in charge of this series with the first 2 maps. And this is just the nature of StarCraft, man. It can turn on its head. players can just get the focus, they can switch into Super Saiyan mode, and all of a sudden, 3 maps in a row and they've got the series.
Kana started falling apart, you know, from that game 3, and in game 5 chose to commit all he had to the, I guess, massive aggression, which in the end wasn't enough.
Exactly, and without further ado, let's switch over to Susie on stage with our winner, KT Zest.
Okay, guys, here I am with Zest. All right, well, let's let the fans go ahead and cheer for him first. All right, guys, I need to get going with the interviews. Now, you were down 2-0 and then came to win it 3-2. What did you have to do to how did you figure out what you needed to do to be able to win 3 games in a row?
처음에 2대0으로 지고 있을 때 제가 너무 진짜 손도 제 손이 아닌 것 같고 진짜 요즘 너무 경기가 안 풀린다는 생각밖에 안 들어가지고 또 이렇게 떨어지나 생각했는데 그냥 제가 스스로 판단하기에 제가 너무 급해 보이는 거예요. 게임 플레이 하는 게. 그래가지고 그냥 절대 공격 가지 말고 이제 수비만 하자. 원래 제 스타일처럼 그냥 수비만 하자 이렇게 마음 먹고 그냥 온리 우주 방어 그런 생각으로 임했어요.
Okay, he said when he first started the games, he was losing, 0-2. His hands didn't even feel like his hands. He's like, who is playing this game? Am I losing again? I can't get out like this. And all those thoughts just kind of started to help him think, if I start playing more defensively, then maybe I should be able to win this. I'm rushing things too much. And you know what? That's exactly what he did. And he went ahead to win 3 games in a row. And here he is. All right, so game 1 and 2, you said you were rushing too much. Do you also think it's because you were figuring out your opponent?
하이드 선수가 어떻게 하는지를 이제 알아맞혀서 1경기, 2경기 실력을 계속 잘
제가 신동원 선수에 대한 정보가 별로 없어가지고 경기 스타일을 잘 몰랐는데 1, 2경기 하면서 대충 그때부터 이제 감 잡아가지고 그냥 제가 수비적으로 하면 충분히 이길 수 있을 것 같아가지고 그런 식으로 풀어나갔던 것 같아요.
He said actually before coming in, he didn't really have much information about Hydra, so he wasn't sure. He just kind of played a little more aggressively, but then towards the later games, he was able to figure him out, and so he was able to win. All right, last question. Many people say you're in a slump right now. Do you agree?
뭐라고요?
슬럼프하고 있다고 사람들이 그러는데 그게 맞다고 생각해요.
솔직히 연습 때 실력은 솔직히 지난해랑 별 다를 게 없다고 생각하는데 그냥 제가 스스로 경기하는 게 잘 안 풀리다 보니까 이게 좀 길어지다 보니까 그런 이야기가 나오는 것 같은데 이번 대회 계기로 극복하려고 왔으니까 이번 대회에서 오늘은 비록 그렇게 좋은 모습은 못 보여드렸지만 이번 대회 계기로 다시 좋은 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
Okay, he says actually maybe it's because he was during practice, I don't think anything's really changed. I've been playing just as good in all my practice games, but the results hasn't really been there, and so people started talking, and he knows this, but he's hoping that through this tournament, he goes, I know I didn't show you great games here either, but hopefully he'll be able to regain that momentum and be able to show you better games from here on forth. So we will look forward to those games, and right now we were going to go back to the analyst desk to you guys.
Thank you so much, Susie. Congratulations to Zest. He moves on to the round of 8, guaranteeing himself $3,000 and, of course, playing later this weekend. What a crazy back and forth series. There were a lot of fights and engagements where we were wondering how did Zest or how did Hydra end up winning that? Let's start from the very beginning then, shall we? In game number 1, we had that failed 2-base Immortal push. What happened there, Snoo? You saw that, from there, he just lost everything possible. The Mothership Core, the Warp Prism, the Probe.
Yeah.
From there, what are you supposed to do?
Everything went wrong from the start. The Zergling came in, saw the robotics, it was scouted, and later on, Zest lost his first probe. Eventually, he did pick off some Hydras with the force field concave, and things were looking promising for a little while, but then Hydra just got an overwhelming amount of units, and Zest couldn't keep up. He lost his Warp Prism, he lost his Mothership Core, and from there was just no way to save this aggressive 2-base all-in.
Yeah, it's actually really fascinating that, and Kev, you were bringing this up too, how Zest was learning how to play against Hydra on the fly. And I mean, you were saying that even, and then confirmed by the interview. So As you were transitioning from games 1 to 3 and then 4 and 5, what was the big difference in your opinion in terms of how to approach the matchup?
I think he was a lot more aggressive than he had to be on Deathwing, for instance. You know, on Deathwing he was just kind of doing his thing, he was poking all the time, and he was definitely making plays happen, and things looked promising on Deathwing as well. And then the Vipers showed up, and you know, if those abducts don't happen, you still have a different game. If he sees it coming, he can fall back a little bit, drop a Templar Archives. I still think Deathwing was going good, but he was just kind of autopilot. He's like, I don't think he has Vipers already. He's been making a little bit of everything. He made mutas and stuff. Suddenly double duct happened, and everything just goes wrong. You know, he lost everything, and off the back that he lost game number 2. And I think from that point on, he's like, man, I have to really be careful now. You know, I cannot make any mistakes anymore. I'm down 0-2 in the best of 5, single elimination tournament. I have to stay a little bit more passive, and he was still semi-aggressive with War Prism arrest, with minor pokes, but no more entire armies moving out or, you know, doing 2 things at once. He always had it safe at home, made sure he didn't get caught off guard by run-bys. I felt like Game 3, 4, and 5 looked really promising, looked like old school Zest. He sat back and he just played better.
Do you think at any point he just sat there and wondered to himself and said, you know what? Rotterdam has predicted wrong 2 times in a row, and I think I better turn this around for him. Otherwise, In Control might be right. Rotterdam won't predict a single correct series.
Yeah.
You think that happened at all?
I think that is what happened. And first he knew that I predicted a 3-1, but I corrected myself and I said 3-2. And while playing Deathwing, he's like, it is a 3-2. So let me just get this game out of the way as well, and then I'll make Roddy shine at the desk. It was a really fun series, though. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a very good StarCraft series.
I liked the theory that he was kind of learning Hydra as we went. You could kind of see that evolution occurring, and I was over here, and a lot of these fights were very strange. I was like, okay, well, Hydra's about to win this fight, but as the series progressed, I was hearing Snoot talk about this too. He's like, no, Zest is playing more defensive, and what I kind of saw happen was Hydra was making mistakes on the offensive category of the game, like that game on Dual Springs where he pushes the Swarm host forward. What was it called?
Secret Spring.
Dual Spring.
Can't blame him. The map is not really played.
I actually don't know the name of the new maps. It's not because I'm not playing. I'm still playing my hundreds of ladder games, but I'm just like, they're weird names. Anyways, he pushes the Swarm host forward when he's doing the muta harass, and he put all his eggs in one basket. Like, the mutas get pushed back by the 30-plus stalkers, and then they're like, oh, there's Swarm host here as well? And then the game ends a few moments later, but it was just, there was those kind of mistakes continuously occurring. And we go to Game 5, where Hydra is pushing, and a couple of these attacks were like, there's the concave you want. You picked off all the sentries. This is going really well. And then he would push a little bit too hard, and instead of waiting for his reinforcements to regain momentum, he would be like, no, let's trickle those guys in as well. And he just fed them into the wood chipper that was Blink Stalkers, and eventually that offensive mistake capitalized, or it became the loss in several games.
Yeah, actually, Game 5 is the epitome of that entire series, I think, of what we just said there, and especially the engagements around the second base and the third base of Zest. So let's actually take a look and talk about exactly that, because I think there's a lot of tug-of-war back and forth. There was moments that kind of baffled us. Why don't you walk us through here? Kev.
Look at the supply as well, 183, 134. And I want to give a big shout out, by the way, to the Sim City on both the third base and the natural. I think that actually kept him alive so many times. And on this moment, this looks like, oh man, this is when the Sim City is going to work against him, right? Like, this is one of these moments where the sentries will be exposed, the Immortals are going to pick up.
You didn't like this fight.
No, I was worried because I was like, okay, this is the moment where all the Hydras will start shooting from the high ground. But, you know, with a cannon, with a Photon overcharge, he had a lot of additional DPS, and he just kept warping in units all the time. And I'm still a little bit confused by it, but he just did it really well. Excellent positioning in there. It looked like a bad fight, but he turned it into a really good one.
Well, there's a key moment there where he actually grabs the back chunk of Hydra Roach and kind of pushed it further back, hoping to bait the Stalkers forward. But what they did was they allowed the Nexus with his Photon Overcharge to tank all the damage from the bottom quadrant of Hydralisk. And that damage is really, it's weird because you see all those Hydras shooting, but they're hitting something that they're not going to kill, which then allowed the Stalkers to do all the one-way damage for themselves, and they won that fight decisively.
And it was also really interesting to see how Zest never made a single cell at some points. We could see his minerals go up to maybe 1,000. But he just stayed patient, waited until he had more gas, and then he made only Stalkers. Not a single cell. And it made sense, of course, because there was so many roaches out, but Stalkers were just the perfect choice.
And what was really interesting, and we didn't really mention yet, is that he made a Robotics Bay in Game 5 after he saw all the Hydralisk, and he's like, and we're like, oh man, he needs to get Colossus. If he gets Colossus, then this is still doable. But then never a single Colossus was made, and we're like, did he cancel it? And he did cancel it. When he made extra cannons, and he warped in sentries, because he's like, okay, I can't fight this army, so I'm going to rely on the ramp, I'm going to rely on cannons, sentries, and it turned out to be a really brilliant decision.
And Immortals, which build faster than Colossus and take less gas. That was a big part of it as well.
Yeah.
But it's so uncommon to see someone actually cancel the robo play when you have roaches and Hydras incoming. Who does that? It's so uncommon.
Yep. But it was brilliant in the end.
Yeah, it turned out to be amazing. So Zest really showing a great deal of experience dealing with aggressive attacks like this.
Like if I would have casted that game and it would have been like NA StarCraft, I'd be like, oh, I don't agree with that decision. Like, you need those you need those Colossus, but no, Zest is like, you guys know nothing.
We know nothing
Johnson.
at all. Well, here we go. We're done with 3 of our series, and the winner of this, which is Zest, goes on to win to face the winner of Innovation versus Life. So Zest is going to have a really tough round of 8. But before that, we also have the round of 16 match, Innovation versus Life, closing up the first day. That's going to be so exciting because, of course, these guys met in GSL round of 8, and they have met so many times throughout StarCraft's 2 history. Once again, these Titans will clash when we return. Make sure to check out all the updates of the official coverage of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship Season 9 by downloading the Score Esports app on whatever device you use, whether it's iOS or Android. And when we come back, we're going to have the title match going in, Innovation versus Life. Stay tuned.